Go. All right, everybody, welcome to today's Ripple Effect. We do this every Tuesday at 11 Mountain on our team page, and we go live on Facebook. So we just wrapped up 6 weeks of talking about the wellness pyramid, doing a little oil education, a little bit of how to maximize your LRP and all that fun stuff. And we're super grateful for you guys to be joining us on that. And a couple quick announcements. For those of you catching us on Facebook Live, in case you were not aware, there is a smoking 200 PV promo this month with Aroma Touch, I'm drawing a blank now. All the tension blends, right? It's the Aroma Touch, the Deep Blue, and I think In Tune or what's past tense. That's the one I'm thinking of, right? So 200 PV promo. Get that, and if you run it by Saturday, the 15th, whatever day that falls on, you're going to get Summer Savory, which is beautiful. It's got some awesome emotional effects. We talked a little bit about that already. It is a spicy, hot, sexy oil. We took a big old whiff of that at corporate the other day when we were down there, and wow, is it intense and phenomenal. Loved it. Our LRP runs, I think, tomorrow, so we'll get that soon. And what else? So I think those are the big announcements we have. Our weekly call today. We have with us Arin Fugate. I'm going to unmute you so that you can join us. Arin's a Blue Diamond. She's been rocking the essential oil thing for like the last 2.5 decades. Travels the world, has horses and kids and a husband who I hear is very talented, very musically inclined. If you haven't checked out his stuff, then you might want to come to the Shift event at convention, because rumor has it we've managed to work something out where he might come and hang out with us a little bit. We haven't talked about that a whole lot because we're trying to keep some surprises for our attendees. So I think we got some fun stuff happening there. So Arin and I, we haven't really spent a whole lot of time together, had a chance to really connect or talk a whole lot about this. But one of the things Carrie and I hear about all the time is how oils are expensive, or I just can't afford to do the business, or excuse. And Carrie and I run this business with 8 children, all sorts of things going on. And one of our favorite things to say is all excuses are equal. And if you want it bad enough, you can have it. And I'm actually doing a call for a couple other diamonds tomorrow night, specifically on that topic. Like, you're not stuck, you're comfortable. There's ways out of that. You just got to be willing. You got to want it. So that's going to be a fun one. But today we invited Arin on to share her story with how she built doTERRA, where she came from, what that looked like, because that was like no money. Like, I'll let you share your story, but it's a pretty powerful one of coming from super scarcity mode, right? Like, pretty awesome stuff. And so for those of you watching and those of you that jumped on Zoom with us, I'm going to hand it over to you, Arin, and let you share your story and bring the wisdom.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. Super happy to be here. I love inspiring people. It's absolutely my biggest joy in the whole world. We're just coming off our annual Visionary Leaders Summit. So we had about 160 people in the room, and I got to spend the weekend sharing stories and inspiring people. And you're doing the thing you were meant to do in this world when you can work 24 hours a day and you don't feel like you worked a moment of your life. So my hope for all of you is that you find that sweet spot in your business where it doesn't feel like work because you're fully on your life's mission. And that's what I've found through doTERRA. I don't know how far back you want me to go or what, specific nuggets, but I do know when we talked about this call, the main thing was, what do I do when either someone comes to me and says, I can't afford to do this business, or I can't afford to use these oils, Or what do we do when ourselves, we are feeling that way? So I love how you started it out, because that is the truth. You know what? When I first started on this health journey, I was coming from a time in my life where I didn't value my health. So maybe I thought I didn't have money for oils or supplements or taking care of my health. But you know what? I found money for other things that I valued that were actually hurting my health. So that's just a great foundation for us to remember. If you're a mentor in this business and you're trying to help someone join the business, they will find the resources for whatever they value. Now, that being said, there are tips and tricks to build this business on a shoestring. And I love respecting our money. So everyone can learn from how to be smart business people and be strategic with the way that they invest their money in their business. So hopefully I'll drop a few nuggets like that. So the backstory is I was in the event production in Los Angeles, California. I took care of DJs. So I'd book their shows, I'd unravel their travel arrangements. And what this ended up doing in my life, although it was fun and it was cool, is I partied for a living. At least 5 nights a week, I was in a club. And so along with that came a lot of destructive behavior, partly for survival, and then it became an addiction. So I got to my early 30s. I had no partner. I really wanted to have a baby and a family one day. I was homeless. I had no money. And I was really struggling with my health, anxiety, depression, other internal issues. And I thought, you know what, it is time to make a change. I have to make a change. But I didn't really know what that would be, because I also don't have a education. I got my GED when I was 21 years old. I only completed 9th grade. And I did a little bit of college, but dropped out because I'm an entrepreneur. And I thought, what's the point of that? And so I came to this point in my life where I'm like, I am not going to be a 50-year-old going to the club every night. There is no way. I know that I have something inside of me that's going to make the world a better place. But what am I going to do? Who is going to hire me? So when doTERRA showed up on my doorstep, it was a moment of doTERRA was a really answer to my prayers, because I was asking for a way out of my circumstances. I had a feeling or an intuition that I wanted to teach people, and that's how doTERRA was presented to me. The person who enrolled me said, doTERRA Essential Oils, they're a new company. They want to bridge the gap between modern and alternative medicine, and they're looking for educators. So I came into doTERRA thinking I could educate people on how to use essential oils, how to uplift their health, and that they would pay me for it. And I thought, how cool is that? And I didn't have to have an education, and it didn't matter that I was basically a drug addict with no money, on government assistance, and no experience. It was like nobody cared. Nobody interviewed me. They just said, do you want to sign up and you can go do this? But there was a block that came immediately. I knew, I understood the business. I said yes, but then my enroller said, well, you have to get a kit. And the cheapest kit was $150. And it was literally every cent I had in my bank account. I didn't have credit cards. I didn't have good credit. I looked at my bank account and I had exactly the amount of money that I needed to buy that kit. And I did it. And in retrospect, I did it because I had such strong belief that this was my ticket out of my circumstances. But it did leave me in a pretty bad place, which was empty my bank account. I call it checkbook roulette. Has anybody played that game before? It's where you write the check to a little bit. And when my oils came, I didn't feel like I could use them on me, which is really sad to think about in retrospect, because I wanted to launch a business. And so I needed samples and I needed to be able to give people experiences. If you are building this business, you know, one of the things we do is we put oils on people. That's how we get them into it. And I knew that from the beginning. So as I looked at the compensation plan back in those days, you had to spend $100 a month. There was no option. That was just if you wanted to be a wellness advocate, or we called it independent product consultant back then, you had to spend $100. I have on this kit. Now you're telling me I have to spend $100 a month to do this business. No way. Strategic is one of my top strengths. I looked at the compensation plan, I looked at the business model, and I figured something out. And this is what I decided to do. There are these intro kits that doTERRA has, lemon, lavender, peppermint in a cute little box. They come in a 6-pack. The 6-pack is 100 PV. So that would qualify me for my loyalty rewards order. Now I could break up this 6-pack and sell those kits hand to hand for $25, which would mean I would turn a slight profit and I would cover my loyalty rewards order. So what I decided, my business plan, and this is another little nugget to write down. If you're launching this doTERRA business or you're ready to take it seriously, you need a business plan. And a business plan does not have to be some big, complicated thing that's all perfectly typed up. This was my business plan. Order the 6-pack and sell them within a week. If I didn't sell them within a week, I couldn't do the business anymore. That was my self-proclaimed limitation and my goal in my business plan. So those 6-packs came into my hands. Now that $100 that I spent on that 6-pack was the only cash I had for groceries. So at the time I was on food stamps. So I had my food stamp card, which if you've ever been on food stamps, you know it doesn't cover what you need. So I had to make sure that I was able to live on the food stamp food. And if I wanted anything extra, I had to sell those intro kits so that I could make that little bit of profit to buy some extra groceries. So talk about motivation, right? And I love,
like,
go ahead. Yeah.
For real, like you're blowing my mind, because not just motivation, but like just such a will to get it done, you know? And I'm loving it because we have similar backgrounds. I don't know if I worked in the entertainment industry for a while. Worked for House of Blues and concerts and shows and entertaining the entertainment, which led to unhealthy lifestyles. Probably the most fun job I've ever had. And we got to the crossroads where it was like, I'm going to be divorced and an alcoholic, or I'm going to have to leave this and go do another thing. So I get it. I so get it. And I love that right away you were able to recognize, like, I have to have a business plan, right? Like, out of the gate, you knew it was a business. You knew you had to, like, I have to do X to make Y, and just doing that, right? And there's so many people, myself included, at times where you're like, I can't afford it. I can't do this. I don't know. It's like, it's oils or food. And our story is very similar. Like when we started, right before we started doTERRA, Carrie shares all the time, you know, when we talk about our story, she was working and had to decide, do I overdraw the bank account and get lunch, or do I put gas in the car? Like which of these decisions do I make, right? And it's heartbreaking when you think about it. And we were splitting our LRP with her mom because we couldn't afford an LRP and didn't recognize strength at the time. And I love the idea of buy the 6 trio kits and crank them out, because those are so easy. Everybody's got $20, right?
Yes. And it makes you do your DMO. So DMO stands for Daily Method of Operations.
Yeah.
On my team, we have a DMO that's what you have to get done. And it can take you an hour. It can take you 4 hours to do your DMO. But if you're not doing your DMO, you're not building your business. And so having to sell those intro kits, it like kicked my butt in the morning. It was like, get out there, go to, and what I did is I went to the farmer's market, or I went, to like a potluck with friends, or I went to the yoga studio. Like I just lived my life. I didn't necessarily go around and go door to door cold calling. I just lived my life. And when I would meet someone, they'd be like, hey, Arin, what are you up to? And I would tell them, you know what? I got burnt out on LA and the production scene, and I'm trying to heal and get my life back. And I just found out about essential oils. And they'd be like, essential oils? Cool. What's that? And then I'd pull out the intro kit. So the intro kits were always in my purse. I was out in my life on a mission to sell them. And I would usually sell those 6 intro kits in 1 to 2 days after receiving them. So it's doable. You just have to want it. And that's the only thing stopping people, is they don't want it bad enough, or they don't know that they want it, or they're comfortable in their circumstances. I was uncomfortable in my circumstances. I was 33 years old, living in a house with 4 college students. We had ragers at our house almost every night. I had no car. My health was breaking down. I was having panic attacks on a daily basis. I was addicted to drugs, not wanting to be, and I had no money in my pocket. So I didn't want to live that life. And there was no way. And I knew deep, deep inside that I had this like beautiful that I've now found. And that was also pulling me like, Arin, you got to get your act together, or this child won't come into your life and this partner won't come into your life. Of course, we hear that all the time, right? You have to have a why that makes you cry. But I change it to, you have to have a why that kicks your ass and gets you out of bed every morning so that you do what you have to do to go make it happen. LRP, and I started making money right away. The first month, of course, I covered my loyalty rewards order. And then every month thereafter, I made a little bit more, a little bit more. Now, I watched some of my other friends who got into the oils and they had plenty of money. I watched them do something, which is they would spend a ton of money on the oils and they'd get every single product. And then they would complain that their business wasn't being built and they were spending all this money. And I was over here like, well, I only let myself use products that I can pay for with me. So what that also produced for me was a very conscious use of the products and an appreciation for the products. When the Lifelong Vitality Pack came out, it was like so precious to me. And I took it with preciousness and I really experienced it. But I was just putting the business first. And after a year, so after this was the second part of it. So I said, okay, you have to sell those intro kits or you can't do the business. So every week I'd sell the intro kits. I started building upon that. Finally started to have a loyalty rewards order that was actually a product I could use for myself. And at the end of my first year, I did my books and I had spent a little over $1,200 because I was like right down to that 100 PV. I wasn't going to spend any more. And I looked at my books and I had made about $1,400. So I went, hey, that's a success. Most businesses don't turn a profit for 3 years. I turned a profit in my first year. That Can you hear me? Okay, great. So I reassessed at the end of that calendar year. I went, well, what am I going to do this next year? So I decided every 3 months, I had to profit and increase it by at least 10%. And if I didn't do that, I had to cancel my business. And that was just self-imposed because I needed a barometer. And that's something that I see these days too with some people that I coach, is they're not setting any kind of barometer for themselves. We have the rank system, but you know what? Sometimes the rank system is not an accurate barometer.
Mm-mm. Not at all. Yeah.
And you got to figure out what your barometer is.
Yeah. I love that like the mindset is so, there's a couple of things that are striking me that I feel like a lot of the really successful people in doTERRA have in common. One is that gratitude of, like you said, constant use and appreciation, right? When you talk about the product, like it was very intentional how you use the product, what you did with it, and the gratitude that it was there, right? And you treated it with that sort of level of importance, right? And I think energetically then the people that you probably shared with and talked to saw that, right? Instead of like, oh, it's no big deal, it's just some lemon oil. It's like, no, this is like this is my baby. Like I'm sharing this gift with you, right? So there's
Yeah.
that piece that I really, really appreciate that I hope people recognize, right? Is that level of gratitude and appreciation and the seriousness and then the goal setting, like to look at it and have the mindset to go, I spent 1,200, I made 14, where most people would be like, I only made for it, right? Like, because you put in 12 months, right? And you were profitable, yes. And from a business standpoint, absolutely. Any business that's profitable within the first 2 to 3 years is a success. Most small businesses fail in that time frame because they don't turn a profit. So absolutely it's a success, right? But the mindset to have coming from that place and what I assume was busting your butt, if you put in the I worked X hours and I made X per hour, you'd be like, it's hardly anything, but it's
Well,
profitable.
that's what we have to help people see, that this is not trading hours for
Yeah,
dollars. This is the kind of income that you can make with doTERRA as even a mature diamond. I'm not even going to go into the blue and presidential diamond levels, but a mature diamond with leadership beneath them, it's incredible income. And so if I had to spend, which I did spend 10 years building that, I would go back in time and not be paid a single penny for 10 years to get the kind of business that we now have today. And
right.
I think it's just a detriment when people go, I've worked X amount of hours and I only got paid this. It just means that they're not really understanding the true power of residual income and
For
what
sure.
the doTERRA compensation plan has for us.
For sure. And I agree with you on the rank thing. Like when we do coaching calls with a lot of our team, especially when we tap root and we start talking to people who've maybe been involved for a few months or a year or two, and we start to really tap into what they need or what their why is. They're like, I want to hit silver, I want to hit gold, I want to hit this rank. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean for you? And then they don't even know. They see all the stuff. And it's like, well, what I really need is an extra 500 a month or 1,500 a month. And it's like, we start to talk about what that looks like. And it's like fast start, power 3. There's
Mm-hmm.
other things to meet that need that builds their confidence. Because it really is about meeting that felt need, right? Like I love my blue diamond certificate. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it and I feel good. And it's all the other things that the fact that I can afford my LRP and that our lifestyle has changed and that there's a sense of peace that comes with that build with what we've built, and it is that mindset shift. I'm with you. Like I would definitely have traded, or not been paid for a little bit longer if I'd have known that like you just got to be willing to do the work, stay consistent, keep moving forward. So yeah, I love it. Feel free to keep rolling with it. I just wanted to jump in on that.
Yeah, so I just felt that it was really important to monitor my business that way. So then what happened is my second year, I finally started to understand the rank system. So that's one thing to know is 2 years into doTERRA, I did not understand the rank system. I only understood power of 3, which I built for. And then 2 years in, I watched a webinar by Teresa Harding and suddenly went, oh, I should try and be silver because it's going to change some things. So I went silver, and then I was earning $1,500 a month. So that's what I looked at. Year 1, just under $1,500 in a year. Year 2, $1,500 a month. And so I just kept feeling like, you're on track, Arin. This is a great business. Keep going. And that's just to that same point. If you're making $1,500 a month, you're doing great. It's great. Don't ever complain about your income in doTERRA. $300 a month or $1,500 a month, you're making residual income. And there are people all over the planet that would give so much to have that. I was always in that state of gratitude. And then I started to notice the power of this business, which is then the checks started growing by $1,000 a month. And that's where I went, okay, we've hit momentum. And that's because there was finally builders on my team. and other people doing things. And then that was just incredible at that point. Now, here's the challenge that I want to just put out to everybody. Even though I was wise in my mindset and I approached this as a business, I also had poverty consciousness, big time. So I'm sitting at this silver, not quite gold. This is a common place. A lot of people get stuck, that premier silver. And for some reason, I felt stuck. I was like, I can't get over this hump. And it was through some coaching that I got where I realized that I had this poverty consciousness. I'd gotten so used to not having enough money to get me through the month that I actually didn't know who I was, what I would do with excess money. So it was like an upper limit. And I was comfortable living in that place of just enough to pay my rent, just enough to have some food on the table. But I was almost saying no to the universe. Like I didn't want any more. So if you are coming into doTERRA with some financial issues, I just want to like plug this, that there is probably going to be a time, and the sooner you do it, the better, where you will need to reprogram your subconscious mind so that you can get over that. And what that did for me is then I started to see the value in allowing more abundance to come in, but then continuing to invest in my business. Because once I did get to gold and I was in that range of like 2,000 to 5,000 a month, coming from where I had come from, I was like, okay, out, retirement time. Like, I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need any more money than this. And that was a really big kind of inward search for me, because when you go gold, you also have people who are going to be knocking on your door saying, teach me how to do this. Because you've reached the sweet spot for most people. Most people, $5,000 a month is what they want to get to. And in order for me to like answer the call of leadership, which eventually that knock will come on your door, people will say, I need you to be my leader. I need you to show me how you've done what you've done. So in order to answer that call, I had to trust myself with more money, more responsibility. And it sounds a little odd, but what I actually had to learn was how to invest in my business. So instead of just taking that $5,000 check and being like, I'm going to keep this all for me, and I'm going to go over here and live this sweet life, I started putting almost 50% of my check back into my business every month. I got that number from Justin Harrison. I saw him speak, and he talked about his crazy, wild, gigantic check, whatever it was at the time, and how he put 50% of it back into his business.
Yeah. So
and I was like, whoa, I have to do that.
When you talk about putting 50% of that back into your business, can you share what that looks like? Like, what are you putting that into? Because I'm
Sure.
assuming it's not $2,500 worth of trio kits.
No. Okay. So number one, absolutely, you have to go to convention. Non-negotiable. Period.
Agreed.
Agreed. Yes. I didn't go into my first convention until I was silver because of that poverty consciousness. I was like, I can't afford convention. I'm not going to spend that money to go to, this thing. And that was one of the big things I realized is I have to go to convention. Number two priority is you have to travel to inspire your team. It's great that we have Zoom now and we can do so much over Zoom, but nothing trumps sitting knee to knee with someone in their living room, hearing about their life, meeting their kids, meeting their family, meeting their team. So I poured money into travel. And there's ways that you can be smart about that too. Once you're gold, definitely become an AromaTouch certified instructor. That can really help to subsidize your trips. So I still kept a lot of that business savviness with me, but travel to your team. And then unique recognition for your team. People will follow you and do anything to be a part of the community you've created if they feel like they're valued and they're recognized. So this can be as simple as birthday cards, rink gifts. When you're at convention, we used to get our team t-shirts. Now we throw a convention team party. It's doing special events with your team members. It's buying them, depending upon their love language, some kind of recognition gift when they rank up or they finish Diamond Club or they do something. Like, pour resources into your team. Sponsor someone to go to convention. Sponsor someone to go to leadership. Sponsor people in Diamond Club. I never say no to someone that wants to do Diamond Club. And that's been my philosophy since it was released. And when it was released, I don't know, maybe a platinum.
How many times have you done Diamond Club?
That I've never, because they brought it out and I hit Diamond like right then. And
lucky you.
I did Diamond Club. That's the thing. Is like Diamond Club was created off of us who were out there traveling and doing it.
Yeah, Carrie and I did it twice. And we hit Diamond the second time we did it. And then when they had the Presidential Club, we participated in that because I couldn't agree more. Like, you have to get out there, and we've built our business belly to belly. And I have like so much of the connections even today we were talking with one of our builders, not about anything doTERRA, right? Just checking in on her daughter and this, that, and the other. And it's through Diamond Club that we got to know her little girl. And like, that's the things that develop like those relationships that we follow up through. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. I love that. So convention, travel, recognition, awesome ways to reinvest in your business. So hopefully people are taking notes.
Reinvesting in yourself. I definitely am a big believer in getting the support you need to get over the different humps. So that could be therapy, that could be medical care, that could be coaching, that could be Reiki, that could be massage therapy, chiropractic. Like, it could be, me and my husband, we're really dedicated to nutrition. He's a CrossFit instructor. So we spend a lot of money on our monthly gym membership. We spend a lot of money on our supplements. We take all the supplements and then some. We spend a lot of money on organic food. And I consider that an investment in my business.
For sure.
Because if I'm shining and vibing, then it's just going to serve me more and more.
Yeah. And it's going to serve everybody else, right? When you show up, it's funny. I'm not a fan of routine. Discipline is like number 30 for me. It's way down at the bottom. And the last 18 months or so, I've really found that while I have to change it up. I don't thrive in that routine setting. What I found though is that like that self-care and getting up and going to the gym, and we're in the same boat. We spend, especially after Carrie's stroke, we spend more on supplements and all the other things, digestive health, all of that, than we do on essential oils, which is we talk about this quite a bit too. Like, when you first get into doTERRA, it's oils. And once you kind of balance your body out and get rid of all the crap, it's like lifelong vitality, Terrazine, PB Assist. And I use a lot of the oils for diffusing and emotional benefit than I do the physical stuff, because I've remedied so much of that, right? And it's such an it's actually, you're finding health versus like traditional healthcare, where we're just going to continue on this prescription in perpetuity, versus no, we're going to use this. And so I'm going off on a tangent, but yeah, the healthcare or the self-care and that piece of the investment, which so many people feel guilty about. Like Carrie and I have talked about this, where she feels guilty about putting money into like getting her hair done, getting her nails done, going to the gym, working out, doing those things. And at the same time, it's like, that is the investment in your business, because you are, right? People don't buy doTERRA, they buy you. And so you've got to be out there doing those things. And the more you do that, the more you can shine your light. And that's what I love about doing doTERRA as well, is like helping others to shine their light more. Like, it's just, it's awesome. It's the best part.
And that said, I also believe that there's a time to grind.
Mm-hmm.
And not that we have to grind in an unhealthy way, but if you're a brand new elite and you're like, I know I can't because I got to get my massage and I got to get my nails done. And
you need to get to work.
There is a time in this business where like you're sleeping on couches, you're sleeping in your cars. Of course, you're taking your lifelong vitality pack and you're eating well, but you might be teaching 4 classes a day. You might be, for me, there was that time where I never bought new clothes. It was only Goodwill clothes because I did not want to spend my capital on clothing. There was a time where I was doing my nails at home and I was going really low budget on all of that stuff because I needed to put all my resources and all my time and all my energy in teaching classes and being with people and connecting with people. And that can be a little, roadblock that I like to remind people of is there's a switch in pace. Whatever your goal is, your goal might be presidential diamond, your goal might be $5,000 a month. Whatever your goal is, you're going to have a time where you're grinding and really going for it and you're working really, really hard. And then there's going to be a time where you need to recalibrate so you can go to the next level. Because for me, I don't know if you all experience this too, but from enrollment to diamond was the hardest I've ever worked in my whole life. Then I got to diamond and I went, oh, now to go to blue diamond, I actually have to completely change my focus because I have to be glowing to my full potential so I can go and inspire my team and I can help my team grow. And so that took a little recalibration on my part to switch out of that build mode into the inspire mode.
Yeah, completely. It's funny. We say all the time, like, this business is it's simple. It's not easy, right? And I remember having a conversation with James Bybee, who's our presidential upline, when we talked about, like, okay, how do we get to diamond? What do we got to do? I'm a list and checkbox kind of person. Like, just tell me what to do. My activator achiever will kick in and we will get it done. Just give me the roadmap. And he was like, it's open the bottle, share, repeat. It's all the nuance in between that I can't teach you. And you'll know you're getting close to diamond when you're sleeping at your desk. Like, if you were working and you were going and sure enough, man, I remember there's a photo floating around somewhere that I saw a couple weeks ago. I'm at my desk, Carrie's at her desk, all the kids are in their pajamas around us, and I'm doing stuff, she's doing stuff, we're on the phone, we're and that's what it's like, right? And it's seasons. You're gonna grind. I like the word hustle. I know a lot of people that connotation for them is a little negative, but like grind is the same thing. Like, there's a time to get in and do the work and put your head down, and then, when you hit it, you rest and you relax, take a deep breath, and then you get back at it. And I think a lot of us, when we hit diamond, we've created this culture, I think, where like diamond is like, if I could just get to diamond. And the reality is, like, that's kind of like the teaser to real abundance, like blue diamond, presidential. And that's a whole different ball game. We talked to Dave Sterling in Cancun on the incentive trip and said, okay, you inspired us. You told us to go all in, and we did that, and we hit diamond. Now tell us how to get to blue. And he was like, it's a whole different ball game, man. He's like, going diamond is one thing, and then going blue diamond, you have to become a leader of leaders. And Carrie and I looked at each other and we were like, what does that even mean? Like, crap. It's like starting all over, right? And
that's what I mean, is you can go to diamond on your grit, I guess is a good word.
Oh.
Unless you figure that thing out that he's talking about.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing, right? So yeah, I love the tips for reinvesting in your business. And yeah, when you're it's funny, we have builders that get to like gold or platinum, and then they're like, okay, now it's time to lead, right? Or it's time to manage. And it's like, you're not there yet, man. Like, at diamond, we're still doing the thing, and you do have to be smart, right? And I can speak to experience from this, because when we first hit diamond, we went into that management mode. It was like, okay, we did it. Like, we hit diamond in the middle of Diamond Club, and I asked Carrie, I was like, so do we have to finish Diamond Club? Because like, our goal was to hit diamond. We hit our goal. Like, do we have to, like, because I was just tired. I was on the road and I was tired, and I was like, so we're done now, right? And she was like, no, of course we have to finish. And we did kind of go into a little bit of that management mode, right? And you have to remember, like, it's never done. It's never done. I love it. I love it. Any other nuggets you got? I could talk about this stuff all day.
I mean, are there any questions?
I haven't seen any questions. I got one gal that's struggling. She says she's been doing doTERRA for a couple of years, and she's lucky if she makes one sale a year. So I commented on Facebook. We're going to offer some coaching and help her shift that. I think you got some. So if you have any nuggets you want to throw to help shift that mindset, or I know that's a very broad statement, but I'd love to hear what comes top of mind for you on that.
I think it's just lead with your strengths. I think if you're not selling oils, you're probably not living in your strengths in your business. So unlock all 34 of your strengths, work through that empowered you guide, because there's some special sauce inside that you're just not probably activating.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. I have a question. You're the second person. I messaged you this privately on Facebook because while you were talking, so I wouldn't forget. But since we have time, I'll throw it out there. You're the second person in 2 weeks to mention the daily method of operation, which is not something that our team has been exposed to in any detail. So I'm sure that there's ways to modify that regardless of income level, regardless of what you can invest in your business. So maybe we can touch on that real quick as kind of one more little nugget to give them and how to develop that business plan. Because I would imagine that is a piece of that.
Sure. Yeah. So the daily method of operations, there's two people that I like to give credit to for this. One is my upline, Lil Shepherd. When I first started this business, she put out a challenge, and it was you do a 2 by 2 by 2 structure every day. So it's 2 new contacts, 2 invitations to the business or the products, and 2 follow-ups a day. And you have to do it every day for 30 days. Of course, so that was the beginning. And then the second person I like to credit, Simon Chan from MLM Nation. And he has a demo that he teaches. It's a bit more extreme than the one that I teach my team. So what I teach my team is 2 new contacts, 2 invitations to a class or presentation, 2 invitations or talking about. So this could be like talking to a team member or mentoring them, but 2 conversations about the business, and 2 follow-up conversations. So that's the DMO, meaning you have to do it every day, 5 days a week, or you're not building your business. And some people ask me, was it okay? Like I can do 1 day a week of that. And just honestly, you're not going to get traction. And this is about what you do every day. It's the slight edge. So you can get your DMO done in 1 hour. Like you can go lock yourself in your car, away from all the kids, away from all the distractions, on your lunch break. You can take out your phone. 2 new contacts, go onto Facebook or Instagram, find someone who looks cool, write them a message. 2 invitations to a class or a presentation. You have your list. You know who needs to be invited. Go invite them. 2 conversations about the business. That's sending a prospect a video, maybe sending a team member a reminder about the weekly call, and 2 follow-ups. You have your list, you need to follow up with, call 2 people or use voicemail. Our Instagram, our Facebook, and our text message has those great voice messaging systems. So that's how you get your DMO done in a half an hour. Now, you might be the kind of person that sounds like you, where you don't like to necessarily structure your day. So you can do your DMO in the holes, but give yourself a reward once your DMO is completed. So maybe it's, a piece of chocolate. Maybe it's watching your favorite television show. Maybe it's sitting out in the sun, like whatever is a reward for you, but that's how you would get your DMO done. And then there's other people who want to give their business like 4 hours a day. And so if you have that much time to do your DMO, you're probably really high on the relationship building strengths, and you need to talk to people on the phone or have coffee dates with them. But if you do your DMO every day, 5 days a week, your business will grow. You will actually get to the point where you have too many people who need a presentation. You'll have too many people who need a follow-up. You'll be so full of contacts and leads that you'll actually have to figure out how to kind of like feed them to some of your team.
Yeah.
Because you won't be able to do it yourself. And then that's when you're starting to build traction. That's when business really starts going.
I love it.
Does that make sense?
No, it's perfect sense.
I have a graphic I can text you to.
Yeah, please, shoot that over. I'll share it with the team. Keshel's asking if we'll repeat what the steps are. Keshel, I'll type it up. I've got it. See if I have it right. Two contacts, two contacts, two invitations to a class or a presentation, two conversations about the business, and then two follow-ups.
Yes. And I will say that this is base level.
That's it.
This is
right.
I'm just getting going. I'm just getting warmed up. But
right.
You'll notice that
minimum.
Yeah. What?
This is your minimum, right? And you can do
your
more.
Minimum. You want to step it up? You want to take it to the next level? You do a lot more.
Yeah. Okay. So that sounds like a great place to sort of wrap it up, guys. Like that's a call to action right there. So it's June 11th, and I would say let's throw it out there. Let's get some comments on Facebook. Comment here if you're not already doing this, which I know we've got a lot of people that maybe aren't on our team on this call that are here, and so if you're already doing it, great. I'm gonna say if you're doing 2 a day, make it 3. Let's ramp it up. We're moving into the summertime, and it's funny. Everyone says, "Oh, summertime is slow," and summertime is, it's the summer. It's hot. People are traveling, and we choose not to travel in this. No, we're going to stay focused on our business. We're going to stay focused on what we're doing. And so it's only slow in the summer if you choose to allow it to be, right? So if you're already doing this DMO, ramp it up, add one more in each category. And if you're not doing it, let me know if you guys can commit with us for the rest of June. I'm going to speak for Carrie and I. I'm going to start. This is very similar to like Share Success, which was kind of where we came through. They had the daily success habits, which is very similar, right?
Or the 631 from Edge. It's kind of classic network marketing. You're going to have some kind of, what do I need to do every day in my business to move forward?
Yeah. And Brian Carruthers has an ebook out called 2 a Day, I think, which is basically like you get 2 contacts every day, no matter what. If that means you don't come home till midnight because you're stuck at the gas station, stalking people, then so be it. But that's a skill that you can develop, right? And how to get those conversations going better. So I love it. I'm so grateful for you taking time out of your day and time away from your family to share and love on our team and give them some insight on how to build this business. From that, and I heard a new phrase, poverty consciousness. I like that. We talk a lot about scarcity, but I like that poverty consciousness because I think I love words. I love how words, what they mean and how they connotate for people, right? And how they flow. And so I really like that thought process. And I couldn't agree with you more. Carrie came to me after her first convention, I think, and I remember we was driving down the road in our Dodge truck, and she looks over at me and she says, "When we make $30,000 a month, how do you think we'll spend that?" And that, she might as well have been speaking Greek. And I said, I have no desire to make that kind of money. Like, I wouldn't know how to spend that money. That much money, that more money, more problems. Like, I don't want that drama. And that was 5 or 6 years ago. And while we don't make that yet, I know exactly how we will spend that money, and I welcome it. And
isn't that a great mindset shift? Yeah. I felt exactly the same way. I was like, okay, other people make that kind of money, not me.
Yeah.
And now my husband and I are like, we welcome all of it because there is so much need in this world, and our needs are taken care of. But wow, like, the more resources we have, not only can we bless the lives of our team, but we can bless the lives of people all over the world. And yes, you have to be a steward of that cash and know what you're going to do with it. But one of my big dreams is that we have thousands of conscious millionaires on the planet, and that they have the resources to go and make a difference and impact lives in the way that they want to. And we have to open up to that abundance. And I know that all of you have the potential. You just have to say yes, call it in, make it happen, and be willing to do the work.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good spot to wrap it up.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, we do this every Tuesday at 11 Mountain. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Carrie, sometimes it's our leaders. Sometimes we're blessed to have amazing people, future conscious millionaires on our team to come and share their wisdom and their guidance. So I thank you guys all for being here. Those of you that catch it on the replay, if you have any questions, let me know. I will send them to Arin. I'm sure she'll be kind enough to respond. And we kind of threw down a little challenge, a little DMO challenge, which I love. It's a new thing. It's been a while since we've put anything out there for you guys like that. So let's see who's going to rock it. And if you guys have some mindset blocks or some issues, then you're not sure how to work through them, reach out to Carrie or I. We will absolutely hop on the phone. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is take your Strengths Finders test or bring your strengths to that call, because you got to operate from there. So have an awesome week. Go get your 200 PB LRP in, get your summer savory and all your free goodies. And we'll talk to you next time. Thank you guys so much.